I usually reserve my thoughts for a series review, but the absolute incompetence displayed by the Pakistani cricket team in the first T20 international against South Africa in Durban left me no choice but to make a video. Where do I even begin? It feels as though Pakistan has taken a massive step backward, returning to the confusion of June this year, where they had no clarity on their team selection or strategy for the T20 World Cup. As a fan, I'm left both agitated and shocked, though I'm not entirely surprised at what just unfolded. Let's start with Pakistan's baffling batting choices. The decision to open with Babar, Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, despite Saim Ayub being in excellent form and having solidified his place as an opener, was mind-boggling. Time and again, we hear that in-form players should be given priority, yet to accommodate Babar's return, the entire batting order was shuffled. This stubbornness around the opening pair has been an issue for quite some time, for at least the last 3 years, but instead of adapting, Pakistan just stuck to old habits. But when you look at just a few days ago in the second test match of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, we witnessed Rohit Sharma coming down the order as KL Rahul was set as an opener in the previous test match, but God forbid such common sense prevails in Pakistan. At 18 for 1 after 3 overs, Pakistan was already on the back foot with a run-out chance, defensive batting, and Babar gone without making an impact. From that point onward, except for Saim's brilliance, ludicrous batting and comedy cricket ensued. There were no boundaries for 5 overs, despite South Africa missing key players and fielding poorly. Overall, South Africans leaked 20-plus runs in the match. Rizwan's knock of 74 from 62 balls might look respectable on paper, but this cannot be far from the truth. His slow, conservative approach and so-called anchor roll did nothing but sink the ship further. His approach of preserving the wicket and charging late may have once worked, but it has now become outdated and ineffective in modern T20 cricket. He struggled to play a run a ball and couldn't rotate strike. Everyone around him fell to the pressure of playing big shots and slogging. Inexperienced Irfan Niazi will never gain valuable experience because he is yet to be allowed to settle into a position. More often than not, Shaheen Afridi is promoted ahead of him. It is absurd to think Shaheen can bat better than him when 12 and over were needed in the last 4 overs. Even if the reason to promote Shaheen was due to having a left-hand, right-hand combination. Irfan has to show up to slog from the get-go because of poor outing of all the anchors prior. It's astonishing how an inexperienced youngster is expected to adapt and perform in any position he's placed, while seasoned players like Babar and Rizwan remain rigid in their roles and batting approach, refusing to adjust to the changing conditions, situations, and the team's needs. Saim Ayub was the only player who truly showed intent, striking at over 200 with a quick-fire 31 from 15 balls. He didn't look like he was under any pressure and played some amazing cricketing shots in his cameo. It was disappointing to hear the commentary criticize him for not capitalizing further. Modern T20 cricket doesn't demand slow, steady innings and a score of 50-plus at the end of a T20 game. Pakistan's openers' failure to attack early, the lack of a middle-order rebuild from Tayyib Tahir and Usman Khan, leading to more pressure on lower middle-order batters, and their inability to utilize power hitters in a timely manner left the team vulnerable, allowing George Linde to take 4 wickets for 21 and nearly a hat-trick. Pakistan's bowling began with Shaheen Afridi dismissing Van der Dusen, who dragged a full-length delivery onto the stumps. Babar was impressive early on, claiming 2 wickets in 2 overs, but his tendency to experiment cost him runs later. Haris Rose struggled to make an impact, while Abbas Afridi remained a dependable performer, taking key wickets of Clausen and Ferreira. By the 15th over, South Africa were 141 for 8, but Pakistan conceded 42 runs in the final 5 overs, with 30 of them coming in the last 2, allowing South Africa to reach a competitive total of 183. The decision to give Sufyan Muqim the final over despite his earlier struggles was baffling, especially when Saim Ayub, a potential option, was not used. It reminded me of Rizwan's decision to give Jahandat, another youngster, the last over against Zimbabwe last week, a risky but reasonable gamble with the series already won. However, the same approach did not make sense here. David Miller went after all the bowlers, fast and spinners. He piled 2 sixes each on Rauf and Sufyan, boundaries on Shaheen, scored a 6 on Abbas, and 3 sixes in a row on Abrar's bowling. What was exceptional about his innings was clean stroke play and the way he held his shape playing those big shots. Where Miller's innings were cut short 18 runs shy of 100, George Linde continued the onslaught, piling up 48 runs at a strike rate of 200. The runs he added at the end of South African innings were enough to put pressure on Pakistani batters. George also bowled beautifully to pick his career best figures and the Player of the Match award. He had an all-around performance and impact on the game with both bat and ball, something Pakistan clearly lacked. South African bowling was only truly put under pressure by Saim in the beginning and somewhat by Rizwan near the tail end of the innings, although he had no choice but to go after it as he himself created that pressure to begin with. Where South Africans kept scoring after being in precarious positions, Pakistani batters, especially the captain, went in a shell after wickets fell around him. In recent series, it felt like Pakistan was finally heading in the right direction, giving youngsters a chance across formats and experimenting with player rotations. But this batting collapse, it brought back those classic Pakistan vibes, like the chaos never went out of style. The series isn't over yet. I hope Rizwan and the team take a hard look at the lessons from the first T20 and come back stronger. Players should be utilized in their proper roles and bowlers should be deployed smartly, considering not just the pitch, but also the match situation. Also, Rizwan should remember that moving forward and not falling back to old tricks is key. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do like and subscribe to Sidra's Silly Point. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.